With Inside Out 2 releasing in theaters this past weekend, it's time to stop and rank all 28 Pixar films from the worst to the best. Welcome back, Kernels, to another video. So on Friday I put out my review for Inside Out 2, and it seems like you guys really liked that. So today I was like, you know what, it's been a while since I've done a Pixar ranking, so we're gonna do that this week in the style of a tier list, because there's a lot of Pixar movies, and it would take a little bit too much time to just kind of rank them all individually, so we're kind of gonna do that through a tier list here. And real quick before we do that, if you are new here, consider subscribing so you don't miss anything Pixar related or movie related coming out soon. And without further ado, let's rank the Pixar movies. Alright, so first up we have the original Toy Story. Now, this is a classic. It is a really good movie. It's not great, it's not the best Pixar movie, like some might say, but it is a solid movie about friendship and like overcoming, I don't know, being replaced. So honestly, because this movie's also pretty classic, right now we will leave it here for now. Oh boy, you guys are not gonna like this one. So keep in mind, you know, I've watched these movies many times in my life. And I will tell you that I am not the world's biggest Bugs Life fan. So much, in fact, it might go there for me. Alright, next up we have Toy Story 2. This is easily better than the first one. I think that most of the Toy Story movies are better than the first one, except the fourth one, of course, because that one's just, oh, no, I'm sorry, I can't. But this is a solid movie. This is actually my favorite Toy Story movie, just because, you know, we get Jessie, Bullseye, the old prospector. I don't know, it just really works for me as a Toy Story movie. Monsters, Inc. Okay, yeah, this is where people are probably gonna get upset with me. So, I like Monsters, Inc., okay? However, I don't like it as much as most people. I think the concept is really good. I think there's just certain parts of the movie, like parts that of like them trying to keep Boo from the monster world, that get a little boring. Just a tad. And I think Monsters University is actually the better of the series. Okay, Finding Nemo, that goes in S tier. This is my second favorite Pixar movie. My favorite Pixar movie is coming up, and I don't think you guys are going to agree, and that's totally fine. Again, this is just my list. It's not the right list or the subjective list or anything like that. Yeah. The Incredibles, that's S tier as well. The Incredibles is a really phenomenal movie. We all grew up watching these movies. I kind of got a newfound of respect for this movie when I like really dug deep into the fact that it took place in the 60s and it was like more of like a retro futurism type thing. I really like this movie more because of that. I don't know. Oh boy, and here we have my golden goose. This is my boy. This is my favorite Pixar movie. People often ask me like why I like the Cars franchise so much. I can't totally talk about it because I would be here for an hour, but to put it in short, the Cars franchise goes full circle. You know, Lightning McQueen is this cocky race car who gets trained by a guy who quite literally lost the race to newer cars. He just couldn't keep up. By Cars 3, the exact same thing is happening to McQueen. You know, he's becoming the older car, and Jackson Storm overtakes him. And it's just a really beautiful story about, you know, pursue your passion, but also make sure to live life around you. And I love this movie so much. Ratatouille. This is a phenomenal movie. One of, honestly, Pixar's most creative about a rat that can cook. And it has some pretty cool scenes. Especially, there's like this whole, like, it's not even like a rumor. It's the old lady from the beginning of this movie is actually Anton Ego's mother. And there's like a whole thing about like the fact that Remy stole her cookbook at the beginning of the movie, and that's what he used to make the ratatouille that he then serves to Anton Ego, and that's why he liked it so much. It's pretty cool. WALL-E. WALL-E. This is my third favorite Pixar film. All these S tier ones are just staples in the Pixar universe. To me, these are your golden gooses up here. Up was solid. Up is a solid movie. I don't think it's quite Toy Story level, but it's like right here for me. And keep in mind, this is probably gonna be like the top of my B tier. So again, judge this list kind of after I finished it, if that makes sense. Okay, Toy Story 3. I would probably put this right here. Now, yes, I know, people often consider Toy Story 3 to be the best of the bunch. Now, I think Toy Story 3 is again, no shame to Toy Story 3, because it's in my A tier, it's a phenomenal movie. I just happen to think that Toy Story 2 is a little bit better. It hits me in that feel, especially that She Loved Me song, and just the feelings that go into that movie, especially following the events of the first one. It just hits me a little bit more. Cars 2. This is one where people are going to probably bite my head off, and that's alright. Okay, so we're gonna do something here, and you guys aren't gonna like it. We're actually gonna move A Bug's Life down here, and we're gonna put Cars 2 here. I know people are gonna scream at me. That's fine. I just like Cars 2. I try to do these based off of enjoyment, you know? Maybe Cars 2 doesn't have the most to do with Lightning McQueen, but it is a good movie. It's a fun movie, right? It's more of a spin-off movie, technically speaking, but I still enjoy it. I still enjoy Finn McMissile, Holly Shiftwell, and even the McQueen races are still pretty good in this. So, take that what you will. Brave. Okay, this is a weird one for me. I know a lot of people like love this movie. I am not one of those people. I can't get behind it as much as other people for the sure fact that it just doesn't feel like a Pixar movie. This feels more like a Disney animation movie, and that's not throwing shade at them, but Pixar is like the best of the best Pixar animation, Disney, that kind of thing, right? This does not feel like Pixar to me. I watch this and I always think that it's a Disney animation movie, and then I'm reminded that it's a Pixar movie, and that's not a good thing. I should know that it's a Pixar movie. All of these, I feel like I know that they are Pixar films. Monsters University. This, I only have this one, where is it? Right here. One step above Monsters Inc. It's a great movie. It's a good movie. And for me, the whole thing of like Mike wanting to be a scare and everyone telling him that he's not like scary, that is more powerful, like in terms of story and plot. And like then Sullivan like not wanting to like let his family down. I don't know. That gets to me more than the first movie, personally speaking. Okay, we have Inside Out. Kind of the whole reason we're making this list is because of Inside Out 2. I think this is near the top. I think. Yeah, we can leave this here for now. Yeah, this is a pretty solid movie. The Good Dinosaur, I believe, is my least favorite Pixar film. Yes. And you know the thing is, too, I think I don't even want to put it in the same category as A Bug's Life, because it's not, like, A Bug's Life just gets boring to me. You know what? Yeah, you know what? The Good Dinosaur deserves to be in a spot of its own, because it's really not the best movie, if I'm being totally honest. It's very boring. The fact that like almost none of the movie requires them speaking, like there's almost no words said, and like you can tell a good story with no words. I mean, plenty of movies have done it, including Pixar movies, but this movie's not good. It's a very boring movie. I don't enjoy it. Finding Dory. Okay, so this one's not horrible, but it's not good either. It's in that like, okay, like yeah, this is a sequel to Finding Nemo, but it kind of gets its diminished name from the fact that Nemo was so good and Finding Dory isn't as good. That's basically all I have to say about that. Okay, so I know not a lot of people like Cars 3, but I do. I like Cars 3. And, you know, it's not top of the chain for me, but it does not deserve to be. I see a lot of people rank this movie in, like, the bottom 10. I don't understand that, but okay. Yes, this is Coco. This is one of my favorite Pixar films. So I would actually put this like right here. This film, I dare I say it, no, not even dare I say it is. It has the best animation out of this entire list. Like, it's my favorite, like, if we're talking strictly animation wise, Coco beats everybody. I mean, even look at the poster. It's very vibrant. The colors work. It does a really good job for itself. All right, next up we have The Incredibles 2. I would put this here. It's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. It's just that the villain is a little like it. The Incredibles, one of the reasons I love that movie is because it has such good deep meaning. This loses a little bit of that. Like, it still has that good deep meaning, but it's more of a like action adventure thing and less of like a like I almost want to call it like a political thriller, because in this movie they're like trying to prove that superheroes aren't bad people and that like they can be good. And that's it's essentially what they have to prove. In the first one, it's more about like just saving the world from syndrome. And I don't know, like, okay. So, yeah, I don't know. I do like this movie. Toy Story 4 goes right here. I hear a lot of people talk about how Toy Story 4 is a good movie. Oh, it's really good. You should give it a chance. Listen, I've watched this movie multiple times, and I will tell you, this is no Toy Story. The other toys are barely in it. It has Woody and Buzz and Bo Peep. Half of the other toys stay inside the camper like 90% of the movie. That's not Toy Story to me. That's like a short. Because in all the other Toy Stories, like Toy Story 1, they're all working together. Toy Story 2, you know, they all work together to find Woody. Toy Story 3, they're all working together. In this one, it's just like Woody and Buzz. I don't understand that. Alright, next up we have Onward. Onward's a good movie. I have no issues with Onward. It's a good story. Matter of fact, I would probably even put it... It's not a bad movie. It's like right here. It's a good movie. I know a lot of people that get like really emotional about this movie. There are some dry spells in it for me, but for the most part, it's a like the emotional beats really hit in this movie, and that's important. That's really important. So I will keep it there for now. Next up we have Soul, and again, this movie's pretty good. Okay, so I actually just rewatched this last night because this is one of those Pixar movies I haven't watched as much. And here's what I have to say about that. The message is the best thing about this movie. You know, obviously, like, not becoming obsessive about what you like to do in your life. You know, making sure that you also live it. Here's where the movie falls flat for me, though. There's this moment in the second act where Joe and 22 kind of switch bodies, or I say, like, she inherits his body, right? The way that they did, like, explain, like, showing off the world to Soul 22 kind of gets to me a little bit, because it just, the message and the meaning behind everything is so good, but the execution of how they do it, I wish they did it a different way that was more entertaining, because this isn't as entertaining to me. And I do find Soul 22 to be a little bit annoying throughout the movie. I do like her character, but there are like, it's a mixed bag for me. It's a very mixed bag because I love the message that it's giving, but I wish they found a different way to tell it, if that makes sense. Because I really liked like the time before and like, or the great before. Like that was really cool stuff, and I wish that the whole movie had spent more time there rather than just like New York City. All right, next up we have Luca. This one's pretty clear to me. This one goes right here. Really good movie just about friendship. I like. I also really like the animation in this movie. I like the simplicity of this movie. This movie has a lot of like simplicity by the sea kind of vibes. I really like it. One of the better newer Pixar movies for me. This one's not good either. This one, I don't like Turning Red. It just, in terms of emotion, Pixar movies have always been so much about that emotion, and this does not do it for me at all. Yeah, I don't know. Turning Red just rubs me the wrong way, I guess. Lightyear, probably the most unnecessary movie on here. Let's talk about this for a minute, because I love Toy Story and I love Buzz Lightyear. He's great. But the whole twist about like Zurg being some future version of himself, and I don't know. I don't think this movie was needed. Like, I was excited for it initially, but that's because I thought they were going to tell a different story here. I'm not the biggest fan of this one. It kind of loses its value at some points for me. Like, it gets really dull. Yeah, I don't know if I'm crazy about this one. Elemental. This one is not bad. This is a good movie. So much, in fact, that, like, I would probably put it here. I enjoy it. It's a good movie. It just doesn't compare to some of my other favorites on this list, but it's a solid movie. Definitely one of Pixar's most creative, like with the fire and all of that stuff, and I like those elements, no pun intended. Yeah, really good movie. And finally, we have Inside Out 2. I actually put this above the first one right here. A really solid movie. Again, just about your emotions, and anxiety and the new emotions add a lot here. A lot here. That I think is so vital to the Inside Out universe. And just the topics they deal with here are a little bit more mature than the first one. But I'm here for it. And I also love that we get to see all of them together again. I made a whole review about this. If you want to go check that out, definitely do. But this is another solid staple in the Pixar universe. And I just can't wait to see their next movie. I think their next movie is called like Elio. It's like about a kid that gets abducted by aliens or something like that. I'm excited for that. That looks good. That looks like a more original concept. There's not many space Pixar movies. Like there's only like WALL-E. Yeah, there's like WALL-E and maybe like Lightyear. That's like the two space related Pixar movies. So I could do another space Pixar movie. I'm down for that. Yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know in the comments what your Pixar ranking is. Again, don't go too crazy. It's just my list. It's not the right list. Again, I'd love to know what your Pixar ranking is and where you rank Inside Out 2 amongst these. And thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for more content like this coming your way soon. Until then, guys, peace.